All right, let the record show, it is 2 o'clock on my iPhone 12. 3 o'clock rather. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let the record show, it is Wednesday, December the 20th, and this is the regular meeting of the Community Redevelopment Agency. Madam Clerk, if I get you to call the roll, please.
Ms. Christy Elton? Here. Mr. Gary Payton?
Here.
For the last time, Chairman Art Graham.
Here.
Francis Pavlovsky. Here. David McGraw.
Here. Okay, first thing on the agenda is approval of the minutes.
We do not have any this
We
month.
don't have any minutes.
No. You guys will get a nice hefty packet next month, don't worry.
I was going to say, I don't remember seeing minutes. Okay, courtesy of the floor to visitors. Anybody want to speak?
I would like to point out that our alternate number 2 has just joined us in the audience. Mr. Mosley is here, and council appointed him Monday night as our second alternate.
Mr. Mosley, congratulations. Okay, old business. Gary.
Mr. Chairman, I just have a couple of quick items. I'm not sure, I assume that they're old business. I'd like to address the Seawalk Pavilion mural a little bit, only from the standpoint that where the mural is on the north side of the paver walkway that goes along there, it's in pretty sad shape. It desperately needs some repair so that people don't trip and fall. I don't know if we still have funds available from a contingency standpoint to maybe cover something along, to help redo those pavers along there. But I would highly recommend that we look at that and try to do something to improve the sidewalk along that north side of the Seawalk Pavilion.
Okay.
And I would just comment that...
Are you talking about just right there in front of where the mural's on?
Yeah, where the mural is, there's a paver sidewalk on the north side.
Yeah.
And if you go to the north side of that paver segment, it's really torn up because that's that empty lot there. There's some pavers falling off, missing, and other things.
Yeah.
It's really a little bit of a hazard along there.
I don't know how much you can do until they do what they're going to do on that lot, but I guess if there's more of a safety concern, you probably will.
Gary's right. Heather witnessed it. I literally fell off the sidewalk when they were painting, so it is a hazard. I know firsthand.
Not funny, but
I literally fell back there because the paper went loose, and so.
It may be that you have to pour a curb along
Right.
there and then, level everything and put new pavers in to finish it off, but that would
Yeah.
be something I would strongly recommend that
Okay.
we do. And I would just ask that in the future, when we look at art projects, when the art committee looks at them, that those projects really consider lighting, hardscape, and landscaping associated with any artwork that may go into that area. As this may be an example that we really should have looked at the paving and make sure that that was covered. Use the memorial site that we're proposing to put some new artwork on. Same thing, what's going to happen? We've got information about the artwork, but what else is happening around it in the way of landscaping, lighting, hardscape, and is that covered in the budget? And if it's not, I would just highly recommend that we, in the future, we consider that as part of the project and make sure we get it all done as one complete project.
Yep.
Thank you.
Francis?
I would just like to piggyback on that for a second. I thought that we had addressed that as an issue, and we were told that it had to do with the sea turtles and a whole nother hurdle for the art committee. I want to verify that that is the reason why we didn't have that as part of this last round.
Correct. With this mural, absolutely. That's why we couldn't do really anything in the way of lighting, is because of where it's
Same for the
located.
structure that we're doing in the veterans because the lighting of the sea turtles.
Correct. But landscape and pavers and those concepts of it, those are going to be a part of what the artists and the city work together. We're not just going to put up this massive, beautiful structure and then leave dirt around it. So
because to his point, having lighting shine on that wouldn't be nice.
Yeah.
But I thought the reason we couldn't do the lighting was because of that. But
And their
landscaping and stuff, I totally agree with because it is You do
Yeah.
everything around it.
There will be some lighting, and just the lighting on that side in particular also has to follow a certain set of regulations for the turtles, but we will have lighting there because we don't have a choice, we have to for safety reasons at that site.
But it's more the Cape requirements versus the
Yeah.
artist requirements.
And there are certain things you can do, so like if there's something that's illuminated in theory from within, that's not considered a light. There are ways you can do different types of illumination that's not considered lighting. And so those are some things that the artist is gonna work with us on to explore.
Because I remember us talking about the Miami artist, which
Yeah.
the newspaper people were made very clear they thought it should be local, but that's not the point. That the reason we didn't light those up was because of that. And I just want to make sure that was serious, that was really the truth. So I agree with you 100% landscaping, safety and all that, but what would the steps be if we added the lighting as part of that process?
So for what's already done or for the future? Or both?
Going forward and both.
So it
It would be on a case-by-case basis because some sites aren't gonna be any issue at all, because of where they're located. And those, we just put it in as part of it. On the ones where it's gonna be an issue, we would have to decide, is it gonna be illuminated or is it actually lit? Because those, as far as the regulations go, are two different things. If it's gonna be something that is lit, it would have to be amber bulbs and it would have to be followed what FDEP does, and then we would also have to go and exercise with permitting and get an FDEP permit for whatever lights.
So that means that it could extend out by a couple months.
Yeah, in theory.
Can we do it separate to where we can install it in the light? Well, I guess it depends on the structure. Okay, well, I agree with Gary that those things should be reviewed.
Yeah, it could be after the fact, if it was appropriate and it didn't impact the integrity of the structure itself. Yeah, absolutely, I think they could be two separate things.
Okay.
Christie?
I was just gonna add to what she said, we can use turtle safe lighting with the amber lighting. And then it's only projects that are located seaward of the coastal construction control line, correct? We don't have, so the new project we're working on is not seaward, is it?
the roundabout.
Yes.
So that one falls, what, there was, it has to do with either being seaward or you can see it from the dunes, and that falls within that distance as we have it written. So
Okay.
technically, we do have to follow. Yeah,
Okay.
so, but that would be a very easy one to simultaneously work with the artist and say, okay, what kind of lights are appropriate? And then while he's actually working on the structure, we're putting in the pavers and the concrete to simultaneously be getting a permit from FDEP for lights.
Can we do that through a field permit, or do we have to do it through a 90-day permit through DEP, like the bigger permit? The bigger one?
Permit, that would be my guess. That's I will say this, my experience in any projects I've had to work on recently with DEP, it's been the longer drawn out process of getting the permits.
Okay. Sometimes Trey Hatch, who's the local guy, if you can get him out first before you do any sort of contact in Tallahassee, he's a great resource for finding, can he approve it in the
Okay.
field? And then it's a less than 30-day
Okay,
permit.
that would be fantastic.
Okay,
Thank you.
we are still on old business. Any other old business? Okay, new business.
All right, in your packet, we have a scope and feed from CHW. And this is basically to get all of our documents ready for bid for Casa Park. And I am happy to entertain any questions. Those funds will come out of our budgeted dollars already for this project that we have in this fiscal year, so there won't be any needs to modify the budget. And again, it is for, I like, at least from the way we look at it, that they broke it out from hardscape construction, landscape and irrigation, and then the signage design, because we did want some unique signage that was educational and directional. And then also, I appreciate that they went ahead and factored in the permitting and utility coordination, because that takes a lot off of us. But I'm happy to entertain questions or feedback or comments, concerns.
Any questions, comments, concerns? Gary?
Taylor, in going through this proposal, I wasn't 100% sure. Things that jumped out that seemed to be needed in the way of additional services would be civil engineering, some electrical services potentially. I don't see that anywhere in the proposal. Is that covered in their number, that they're providing those as part of their lump sum number?
So basically, what all they're getting together for us are going to be the construction documents. Now with their, like their hardscape construction documents, I know those will have the technical specifications, but they'll, the more in-depth plans will come once we get this project out to bid from the contractor. I know they'll have like the lit bollards, but other than those bollards, there really won't be much more electrical.
I'm not sure I followed you there, because they need to provide a complete set of construction documents, and they talk about in their proposal the scope of services that they're going to be providing, potentially water at this site, that there's going to be some lighting, so that needs to be part of their proposal.
Yeah, and so in that part where they reference in like B4, where it's got 90% for review and 100% construction documents, if you kind of reference back to number 2, where it talks about what it'll include, it'll have the coordinated with the civil site grading plan, and they'll have the hardscape plan benches, water bottle filling stations, pipe repair stations, and the lit bollards, and so those will be inclusive of that part. And the lit bollards are really the only electrical.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure we've got it all covered and we're not having to come back and we're going to get extras from them because they didn't have it in their proposal to begin with. The submittals, would be my recommendation, rather than a submittal of 90%, that we get a submittal of 60% for review to kind of see where things are at, and if we need to make any revisions or changes, we have an opportunity to do that before they get so far down the road that it becomes an extra cost to us for any revisions that we're proposing. And along with that, it would be, I think, appropriate to get some kind of a cost estimate done on the work at 60%, so that we can take a look at that, since we're now finding ourselves having to adjust our budgets and take monies from other projects to cover things. At 60%, it would be good to know where we are in relationship to our budget, and see if some adjustments need to be made from that standpoint in order to keep things on track.
Okay.
I was a little surprised on the signage design that we're only talking about 2 educational signage items and 2 trail markers. I would have thought that we'd see a little bit more than that to really make it worthwhile and what we're trying to accomplish with this signage. Also, in reference to the costs, they talk about reimbursables, or as they define it as, they use a different term, mine is reimbursables, but if you go into their fine print, they talk about direct expenses. And there's nothing indicated as to what the direct expenses are going to be. It would be good to have some kind of an idea of what the estimate is for direct expenses, instead of just $28,000 for basic tasks. And then if we're going to do irrigation down there, is the irrigation well water or is it city water?
It's reuse.
It's reused water?
Yeah, they've got a reuse system down there that we're going to tap into. And Trevor could probably speak more than that, but I did not ask him to attend. But yes, I do know that Trevor's been working, coordinating that.
Okay, great.
And I want to, on the signage, I do want to point out, they're going to have 2 educational designs and 2 trail marker designs. It doesn't necessarily mean that when we construct it, we're only going to put 2. So there may be 4 educational signs, 2 of each type scattered throughout the trail, and then 4 of the other, however it shakes out. That's just the designs they're providing, but we can incorporate more of those designs into the trail once we construct it.
So there may actually be more signs. This is just the actual design of the options that we have to choose from.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
Francis?
I wanted to piggyback also on the signage. I don't know how many years it's been. I've been trying to push this to be a some kind of purposeful property. I think that we should partner with either the museum, our local museum, to get historical things or some way to bring more information to that area so we can know it not just as a passive park, but our historical park. I think that would be exciting and fun, especially since, you know, some of the structures around here are being built with old-time photos of the beaches. So I think that is key. I think the more signs, the merrier, since there's no other purpose other than walking through. So it should be our educational park, not necessarily a passive park. And then I know I keep asking this and you keep telling me it would be difficult, but I'm going to ask again. Can we or will we turn this into some kind of biopaver, do a memorial bench type event so that not only is it educational, but it's a quiet, serene place to sit and have memories as well. So it's not just passive, it's purposeful. So I would like to address that as well.
Okay, I will take that back to finance and administration.
I know she's gonna say, well, it's difficult because people buy things versus being about to keep it. But maybe there's gotta be some workaround where we can maintain it even if it's a program.